Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds, and we got a good show tonight. We got special guests with us. They make up the team Tennessee Shadow Chasers. They are the ambassadors and the protectors of the Euro Shrine in Tennessee. We're not going to keep them backstage for too long. We'll bring them on. Please welcome Tennessee Shadow Chasers. Hey, welcome to
Hello.
the show.
Hi.
Hey.
So, tell my audience a little bit about yourselves and how you Tennessee Shadow Chasers got started.
Okay, so we started investigating together. Audra and I and another team member, Melissa, worked together for several years with another company. And then after the company dissolved, we all decided we still wanted to investigate. So we decided to hook up together and just go investigate, and brought a few extra people on the way, and we all just cosmically came together. Really. Isn't that the best way to describe it, Audra?
Yeah. We've been together as a team, though. What, two and a
2
half?
years?
Yeah, a little over 2 years together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So, you
Yeah.
guys are kind of newbies.
As a team.
I
As a
mean, not as far
team.
as investigating goes, but yeah, as
Yeah.
together,
As a
yeah.
team, yes. As investigators, no, because we
Yeah.
worked for the other company for 3 years.
And I
And
worked for him
then
for 12 years.
you worked for him for 12 years. And then I was doing it prior to that for 10 years. So we're new as a team, but not as
Not new.
investigators.
Right. Right.
So, I saw you guys are the protectors of the Euro Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to explain the Euro Shrine? Anybody that has missed the episode when I had Rick on?
Yeah.
First of all, I'd say go back and watch that,
Mm-hmm.
because he is indescribable in and of himself.
Yeah.
But the shrine it's kind of like a stagecoach stop for spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is welcome there. It's in Bristol, Tennessee, and he kind of acts like a gatekeeper, and he provides a place for people who want to meet and talk and communicate with spirits, and spirits who want to meet and talk and communicate with people, a place to converge and have that happen.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, you never know what kind of spirits are going to be there. It could be good, could be bad, but so it's different every time.
Right.
There's only a few resident spirits that are there.
Yeah. Yeah. And the shrine has its own way of, it's its own entity. So it really is alive in itself. Not just for all the haunted items that are there, and not just for the spirits that stop there to hang out with the living and the dead and angels and demons and everything in between. It takes care of itself and those who take care of it. It's really amazing.
it has been known to keep people from coming. Um, like people have scheduled multiple times and something always happens to keep them from getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the shrine's way of saying you're not supposed to be here.
Right.
Yeah.
So
For whatever reason. It could be something with the person's intent. It could be an energy not matching up. It could be for safety reasons for that person. So there's just no telling
Right.
why they're stopped, but they are.
Yeah, I can see that with all that different energy that goes around that place. I can see that happening. You're
Yeah.
not
yeah.
there, you shouldn't be there.
Right. Right.
And with all the new haunted objects constantly being brought in, everything's always changing. All the energy's always changing. So
Mhm.
you can go in from one week to the next, and I'll be like, oh, something's different. What's different? And he'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I got a new haunted doll. And you're
Mm.
like, oh, no, here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then he has to change everything around until it's in the right place and everything's back even. Like
Right.
that balance is back good.
Balance. Yes. Yeah.
Do you guys collect haunted objects too, or
I don't.
I don't. I had one and I gave it to the shrine.
Yeah.
I had one and I thought, well, I wanted to keep it, but my husband didn't want me to keep it in the house, and so there had to be compromise. So I knew a safe place to take it was the shrine. You know, that's a good thing.
Yeah, a friend of ours has one right now that she's having some trouble in her house with it. We're picking it up from her in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all meeting down at Old South Pittsburgh.
3
And
weeks.
we're 3 weeks, 3 weeks. And we're picking it up from her there and taking it back to Rick. It's a haunted crystal ball. So that should be interesting to see how that goes, because she keeps seeing an old lady around her house
Yeah.
that does not belong there.
I cannot wait to see this. I cannot wait to see this crystal ball.
best thing I can tell you to do with that, put it in a plastic storage tote, put some metals in it, some blessed salt, and then spray down the top of it with holy water, and you should be good. It'll trap
Okay.
it in there and contain it.
Okay.
Okay.
And keep it away from windows.
Yep.
So it doesn't start a fire.
Yeah, she woke up one morning and a candle was burning. So
Yeah.
she was lucky her house didn't burn down.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys don't do residential, or do you just do events? Or
We do. We actually, so we started out incorporating residential, and because we really are interested in helping people. If you have something going on in your house and you need help or you don't know how to maneuver through it, we're more than happy to help. But we kind of ran into a few that were unsafe for us. So we stopped doing them and turned our focus elsewhere. However, we are going back to one of the ones that we went to that was fine. We weren't in any danger, but we're going back to this one. So we're thinking about opening up the avenue for more house investigations. I think we could handle that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Tennille.
Hi, Tennille.
yeah, residentials they're fun, but they're also a lot harder. A lot of different energies.
Well, and you're dealing with people's actual lives, and so this is where they live every day.
Yep.
And that in itself, you just have to be really careful how you address things, because when you go to a haunted, let's say it's like the Monroe House. If you go to the Monroe House, you know people are going there to investigate. So it's just one of those things that nobody lives there full time. So you just have to be careful of what you do, what you say, your opinion. You kind of got to take your opinion out of it, you know?
You got to pick your words wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Liz, welcome in. Yeah, with residential, you really want to watch. I have my clients, they fill out forms. I have questionnaires for them to fill out.
That's you do this beforehand? Yeah, smart. That's a really good idea.
There are confidentiality agreements, and that way, if they want to let you post stuff, they sign that form saying full release of evidence and everything
Mhm.
posted or stuff like that. We still don't post names or locations or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've always gone into it with just not even the thought of posting it or releasing anything.
And some of them will let us go live. We'll do it for like educational purposes. So maybe there's somebody
Mhm.
watching that has having the same experience that's going on. They get to see how we deal with it.
It's a
Yeah.
good idea. We need to go
That's a
back and
really
look
good
at some of
idea.
your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll never see a client if we're going to talk to the client or something when we're taking a break. We go live. So they never
Yeah.
see the client. They never see anything like that or hear us talk to them. No names, nothing.
That's good. I mean, that's good.
It's some good rule of thumbs. Hey, there's the Euro Shrine.
So you're trying, right?
Hi, Liz. Yep, he's on here. The shrine's on here.
Awesome.
Hey, D.
But yeah, and then with residential, I do background check with clients too.
That's important.
We
'Cause you
do
want to
that,
know
yes.
what you're going to walk into, and you want to know how safe you're going to be.
Yeah, you don't, because you're walking into a stranger's house, into their element. So you gotta be careful. Yes.
Plus, there are types of hauntings. I mean, because even your darker stuff feeds off. They got past trauma going on and stuff like that,
Mhm. Yeah.
which is very rare in a client household. You'll find maybe one or two out of 100 cases you do. Most of it's just regular spirits
Yep.
Yeah,
out of
Yep.
there.
Or,
yeah, family or from the land previously,
right.
or
Right.
I mean, but there is on occasion you will run into something dark in somebody's house.
Every once in a while. Yep. Like you said, about 2 out of every 100.
Yep,
Yeah. Because if you were a jerk in life, chances are you're a jerk in death.
exactly.
What's going to change? Yeah.
Right, and my theory is on that too is if they once own the house, to them you're trespassing in their space. It's like a burglar
Mm-hmm.
breaking into a house. What are you going to want to do? You're going to want to hurt them and get them out of there.
Right.
So
That's
it works
exactly right.
with us and anybody else moving into a house that's haunted. Maybe the previous owner.
Exactly. Exactly. And do they even know that they're dead? You know,
Right.
sometimes you run into that.
They're protecting their space.
That's it, because someone's invading their space. Exactly. There's so many different avenues that it can go when you're on a home investigation. It's
Yep.
so that is another aspect to make it so much more difficult than going somewhere notably haunted.
yeah, you know what you're getting into in those notably haunted locations.
Yep.
You
Yeah, yeah,
know, whereas at a home, you don't know what the owners have been doing and not telling you,
right.
which
Exactly.
is something that we have ran into. We found out after the fact some things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we do too. That's why I got my dad. My dad's got abilities, and he interviews our clients, and he flat out tells them, "Look, if you're gonna hide stuff from us, don't, because I can see it, read you, so I
Yep.
know if you're lying to us."
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yep.
yeah.
We've had a few that try to hide stuff from us, whether they played with a Ouija board in the house, played with
Hmm.
a board when they were a kid.
Yep. They're
Yeah,
just too embarrassed. And that's the thing. I mean, when they call for your help, they just need to be upfront and honest, because
yep,
you're there to help them, not judge them. You're there to
Yeah,
help.
you can't help them if you don't know everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a large misconception, that they think that these investigators come into their space and then they're going to start judging them for what they've done. Because I mean, a lot of times they can do things that are, like you said, Ouija boards. If they're just playing with one and they don't know how to properly close a session, or they go about things the wrong way and they're just
yeah.
embarrassed, But that's okay. That's what other people come in and help you with.
especially when they're kids. I mean, when you're kids, you don't know. They sold them as toys
Yeah.
in stores, so you don't know as a kid what you're playing with.
No, not at all.
And then back then, you think you're talking to a regular spirit or something. You don't know what you're talking to.
When you're a kid, half the time you think it's a live human being.
Yep.
You
And
have no idea that they're dead.
not Mr. Z himself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh gosh, that would be awful.
That would be.
Or the parents find out you're playing with it in the house and they take it. You haven't closed it out.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's happened a lot of times.
And that's it. Then you've got that door open for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's dangerous. You got to be honest. You got to speak the truth. You got to be honest with everything that you've done, so the people that come in can actually help you.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's even other teams that go in and they stir it all up and then they just up and leave. And this thing is irate, angry, and now the
Mhm.
client's stuck dealing with it.
Yeah.
I've seen where that's happened to other places and people, and that's terrifying to think that somebody would do that. I mean, I just can't
It
imagine
is.
somebody would do that. But they do. But it's just hard to imagine somebody could live with themselves for doing that.
Yeah, we've got called into a
Absolutely.
few of them because of it. We also do cleansings on houses and people, and
That's smart. That's really good.
so we don't leave until it's gone.
Right.
And we're those that will go back if we need to.
We're going back to one. It's going
Yeah.
to be our second time there. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sometimes you have to. It takes more than one visit to
Yeah.
get something out of a house.
It
Yeah.
really.
He said it calmed down for a little while, but he says it's gone. It's come back, what, tenfold, what he said, all of a
Yeah.
sudden?
He said
So,
really tenfold. Yeah.
and it's been about a year since we were there. So I don't know what has happened in this year, but I guess we'll find out.
Did you
Mm-hmm.
seal the house up to keep it from coming back in?
No, we did not do that.
That's
Unfortunately, we did not do that, which was our mistake. But there's got. I'm ready to be back there just to see what's changed and see what human activity has changed. You know, who's there, who's not there anymore, kind of thing.
He says that he got rid of the troublemakers, and I'm not sure what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
Yeah.
have to talk to him more to see what that means.
Yeah. Yeah.
my suggestion is seal it when you do it this time. Seal the house up
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
have them keep that barrier in place, and that'll
Okay.
keep it from coming back in. Eventually, it'll give up and move on.
Okay. Good advice. Thank you.
That's what we do. We put barriers in places and seal the windows, the doors, everything, corners.
Yeah.
So we even do the outside of the house.
Oh, nice. We should do that. We'll do the outside as well.
Yeah,
I
last
know
time
the
he
large
wouldn't let us.
property. Yeah.
He wouldn't let us go everywhere last time.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah,
And this time he says we can. So
Right.
so it can
Right.
go hide somewhere else and just stay there and laying dormant until
Right.
things blow
Right.
over. And
maybe it's just a summer ghost. I don't know.
Maybe it's just your summer home. It's gonna fall over here, somewhere over here. It could be. You never know.
what are some of the most scariest places you guys done?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many. I'll tell you what, we just had a really cool experience at Brushy Mountain. And this kind of blew, we were in Supermax. And so this was crazy because I've actually put a video on our Facebook page just today because I just finished it up today and put it on. But we were talking to a spirit, and Audra had asked it to make a sound. It didn't matter what sound it was. Any sound will work. Anything. And we hear this, and then this bam. Well, it come to find out it was the door. The door had been propped open by a rock. There was a breeze outside, but it wasn't windy.
Right.
And in the video, you can see me open the door with one hand. I mean, it's a heavy door, but I can do it with one hand. We put the rock back in place, and we're like, okay, that was really cool. Way to go. Thanks. Bravo, spirit. Then Audra is downstairs, and she's watching this door, and she's watching the door like this. And she says very quietly, you can't even hear it on the recording, very quietly, I bet you can't open this door again. And she's not, let me explain. She wasn't taunting. She wasn't saying anything wrong. She was challenging the spirit. We needed clarification. And you're in a prison. These guys don't do gentle talk.
No.
Right? So you have to adapt to your surroundings. So she says, I bet you can't open that door again or close that door again. And it happened again. I mean, it was perfect. I don't think I've ever seen Audra move that fast going backwards in my life. Ever.
I don't think I've moved that fast since I was probably 5.
Right? So that just happened to us actually 2 weekends ago. 2 weekends.
Last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend. Yeah.
It was last weekend.
It was last Saturday. And then we had this time as a group. I mean, the hospital on College Hill, that was
in August of last year.
Yeah, there was a moment because we got into yeah. She's still so shaky. Yeah, that's exactly right. But we were on the 3rd floor, and everything got really chaotic really fast. There was shadows, there was voices, and all of us got kind of shook up a little bit to where we walked out of the building and then ended up going back in. I think Audra, you were probably the one who was shook up the least amount at that point in time. I think she got the biggest kick out of our reaction.
It was like watching.
No. We were all going down the hill or down the hall. Somebody's grabbing everybody with them. I mean, it was just one of those chaotic moments. Not expecting it because it happened so fast and so many different things happened at the same time that it was very discombobulating. And so all of our heads were just everywhere. And we
were feeding off of each other that it made it even worse.
Oh yeah.
But looking back, it was so much fun. That memory will forever stick with me.
And nobody was recording because we couldn't figure out which way to look.
Right.
And then I turn and look, and everybody's running out the door at the same time together. And I just fell to the floor laughing so hard that they all thought I was hurt.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you okay? And I was like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm laughing. I can't move.
No. It was funny. So that was one of the scariest and funniest moments. But I don't know. For me, I don't know. What is your scariest, Audra?
Last week.
Yeah. I would say mine is between South Pittsburgh Hospital. So there was a situation at the Conjuring House when I went like 5 years ago. And I was constantly getting touched. And I'm talking it was a routine. Like it would start on my shoulder, go to my elbow, go to my wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist, over and over and over. And then it'd start on my hip, knee, ankle. And it was irritating. It was just tapping. And that really unsettled me and made me very anxious being touched like that and having no control over it because I couldn't. I mean, what do you do? Hey, Al. Hey. Yeah, so but South Pittsburgh Hospital for me, the 7-foot doctor, personally myself, I don't think he's ever been human. But that's just my personal opinion. That's not a fact. I don't have anything to back that up. But I ran into him and I literally just started melting down into the ground. And that was a very defining moment for me. It was very scary. But we tend to go rush towards things. We try not to let our fear stop us on our team. So we might get scared or startled, but then we tend to go straight towards it. What was that? We try to debunk things. So, because everything's not paranormal.
Right.
So
everything's not a demon.
Right. And we have sat there on multiple occasions And it'll take us 35, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour to debunk something. But if it's something that we think we've captured on film, something that we think is legitimately fact, you have to go back and just make sure. Because we were at Octagon Hall one time and we were all in the basement and there was this light and it just kept showing up every once in a while. And it made no sense because there was no windows in that area. There was no reason for light to be coming through there. And it, honest to God, was a headlight that you're going to have to.
It was like reflecting off of a mirror in a room, and then it would come back to the door frame and then shine into that light, into that room. So it was reflecting like 3 times before it would hit that room. And it took us forever to figure that out. And me and Bailey were just like, it's got to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
It took us 45 minutes to figure it out but it was crazy that it was a headlight from outside going off 3 different things before it hit that room.
Right.
Yeah. So we try to debunk everything and we try to come at it at a logical way as well. So that we know that the evidence we're putting out there that people want to see is legitimate. It's not something that's just.
We did it at the shrine too, because we kept getting a shadow going across the back, and we figured out it was somebody's UV flashlight reflecting off the table.
Yeah. It would reflect off the table and go into the mirror, and then it was reflecting elsewhere. And it looked like a shadow.
It looked like a shadow.
We had to go back there. We tried one time in the moment, and then we went back. We had to go back and debunk it. I mean, that's how serious we are about making sure that everything we put out there is legitimate.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, it's real easy to fake evidence nowadays with all the technology now, and people saying that reflection is a spirit or a light or an orb.
And that's really unfortunate because the paranormal community, I think, is still small enough to where everybody's input can make a difference if it's honest. You just got to be honest, man. Don't try to get famous off of your footage. This is something that we're actually in for whatever reason, whatever Russ, whatever you're in it for, Audra, me, anybody. The common goal is the same. Answers. No matter why you're in it. So why not be honest? Don't lead people down an unnecessary road of fake.
Yeah, let's build each other up and quit trying to destroy each other.
And all of our input is important because none of us have the answers. We're not going to have those. But the more we dig, the more we might come closer to it. And so if we collectively do this as a whole community, we can actually grow so much farther and we can get so many more answers instead of it being a competition.
Yep. And that's all it is nowadays. Competition. Who's throat. And it's ridiculous. I mean, if they spend more time investigating the paranormal that they do fueling the drama, maybe they would make some headway.
That's right. Yeah, we steer clear of drama. The Tennessee Shadow Chasers don't.
We don't do it either.
We're not interested in it. We're definitely not interested in that. We are all interested in the time that we have together as a team, as a family, because we all consider each other family. Because when you go into these haunted locations together, you really need to trust people with your life because, I mean, there's so many different factors. There's so many like real life factors of homeless people. There's dangerous things. You could get hurt. You could fall, crack your head open. There's so many different things. So, it's just, I don't know. I'll get off my soapbox, but you just need to be able to trust your team and
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
For us newbies, how do you ensure you're not taking spirits, entities, and ghosts, etc., home with you? What protective measures do your teams exercise?
We like sage. We like Florida water. We like Palo Santo. So we will burn these things around us or spray these things on us when we're leaving. Every time before we leave a location, we will thank the spirits. We thank them for allowing us to be there. We thank them for communicating with us and that, you need to stay here. We're going to go, but we will come back and visit you someday. Thank you so much for communicating with us. Because we always, and it's important to start off introducing yourself to spirits as well, because like we said before, not everything is evil, not everything is a demon. Sometimes it's just regular people. And if you come into somebody's house and you don't introduce yourself, that's really rude. so we
Yep.
take it, yeah, so we take it as be polite to them, treat them as if they're still in the flesh. But yes, when you leave, definitely tell them thank you, goodbye, stay here, I'm going home. And then take some sage or Florida water or Palo Santo or anything else, holy water that might work for you,
Yep.
a prayer, whatever your go-to is, use that.
You do a protection prayer before and after.
On occasions we do. Sometimes we don't.
That's a hard one because
Yeah.
each of us follow a different religious belief. And so we all have different means of protection that some of us use. Some of us use crystals. Some of us do have a prayer. Some of us don't use protection of any kind before we go in because we're just that way. We don't think we need it because, I myself am a skeptic. And so last week really shook me up.
Yeah, it did.
Going forward, I might have to change that. But I am also, I'm agnostic, so I have trouble with the prayer part of it. But I don't, if they want to do their prayer, I'm fine with it. I don't care about them. That's their choice. So, so everybody does their own thing, and none of us, look at each other sideways for what they choose to do.
Nope, we love each other just the way we are. Every single one of us. Yep.
Yep, we're the same way. I mean, there's different belief systems in my team too as well, and so
Yeah.
I mean, we do sage. We're also part Native American, so we have our Native American beliefs. We also use holy water, and
Yep.
but like your darker stuff, sage doesn't work against them anymore. They've kind of upped their game for that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tricky out there. It's tricky when you're investigating because you don't always know what you're up against. Even if you have abilities, even having abilities and being able to see things that other people can't see, you don't see everything.
No, you don't. And I mean, even your darker stuff, they know how to disguise themselves really well.
Really well. Really well. They're sneaky.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
My first case was actually a demonic case.
Your first case?
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
That would be terrifying for you. Your first case?
That was
Welcome to the show.
first big one. Was a partial possession after I moved out here.
Jumping in with both feet first. That's crazy.
But I've already.
Know? Did you have an inkling before going that it was going to
Oh
be a
yeah,
big one?
I was already.
Okay, so you had preparation. Okay.
Yep, I was already trained in it.
Oh,
I've been investigating paranormal since I was 13. So.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and then with my cousins Ed and Lorraine, studying them, and I work with Farah and that studying that stuff. So
Yeah.
I've actually got to watch people's eyes roll in the back of their heads, upside down cross, scratched in their neck.
Yeah, I've witnessed people's eyes just go black, like no whites.
Yep.
Actually, somebody on our team did that. That was intense.
It was scary. It was scary. I remember. Yeah,
Yeah, that's when the holy water came out.
That case took 6 months to actually accomplish.
Oh, I believe that.
How often did you have to go?
We were there every weekend.
Oh, wow. For 6 weeks? Jeez.
Yep. 6
That's
months.
intense.
And they're back to normal. They're a happy family again.
Good.
They go to church.
Good.
Now we're like family to them. We get invited over there for Thanksgiving dinner. And
oh, that's so sweet. That's awesome.
That case was pretty bad. The client was ready to kill her husband. And
oh my gosh.
My.
That's
disowned
awful.
her whole family, sleepwalking. bruises.
Oh, wow.
That's bad.
That is bad.
You weren't kidding. That was
Yeah,
intense.
that one was a bad one.
And that was your first one?
That was our first demonic case that we've ever done.
Crazy.
Everything else,
Oh.
regular residential stuff, regular spirits. So we got that one.
Jeez.
Now we've done probably about 4 or 5 of them now that are demonic cases already.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive. That's good work.
Yeah, it takes a lot out of us too when you do those. We're drained for about a week.
Oh yeah, that's those paranormal hangovers that they just when you're up against dark stuff like that, man, I'm telling you, it takes a while to bounce back.
Yep.
It's kind of cool how you can go from one place to another and have totally different reactions afterwards. Because there are days where, I've been known to, especially when I worked for another company, I would drive up somewhere and then investigate, like drive that day, like 7 hours, investigate, sleep for 3 hours, get in the car and come home.
Yep.
It's just something that you do when you're investigating and some places you could do that with and some places you just can't.
Yeah.
You're just you're just done. You just have to sleep.
There's some locations we got there at like 3 in the afternoon, did our interviews, set up equipment, did our baseline readings, everything,
Mm-hmm.
and not leave out of there till like 9, 10 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. So
We've done
it's
back to back too.
oh yeah, that's the tough ones when you do them back to back. We've been known to do back. We're getting ready to do on the 23rd and the 24th. We're doing Harriman Hospital and then Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and we are going to be
Paranormal flu.
we are going to be
Paranormal flu. I like that.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, Amanda, I like that. That's yes. Yeah, energy being spent indeed. I mean, it just will wipe you out. So I'm excited for those two this month, later on this month, back to back. We're all getting together. We're going to one. We're going to the other, and then we're all going to melt for about a week and just be like zombies.
Yeah, you're gonna.
And then we got Smoky Mountain Terror.
Oh God, we do.
Smoky Mountain Terror the next week. Yes.
I'm looking at the calendar right now. We do that next weekend. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be busy. This month is busy. Busy.
Yeah, that's for us too. We're getting busy. Like I said, we had to cancel our Smoky Mountain Terror trip.
Yeah.
That's not good. We were looking forward to that.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's okay.
If something comes, if you get a chance though, you need to come down and visit your shrine though. If you get any opportunity, you need to come down there.
Yeah, the Euro Shrine is. I mean, we're having good feedback from the teams that are showing up to investigate because they book through us to investigate there. And right now we're only doing Fridays and Saturdays right now because what is that? Smoky Mountain Terror featuring the Euro Shrine. That's yeah. But we're getting good feedback. Everybody's having a good time. They're amazed with the evidence they're catching. So, TerrorCon, I think, is really going to put the place on the map with all the activity, all the people coming in and seeing it, because we have some opportunities for people to purchase tickets to help me with this, Andra. What they're buying the tickets for. There's the paranormal side.
There is a witches event first that they can buy a ticket for, where they're going to do a seance and then they're going to have like an intention ceremony. Mm-hmm. That's a separate ticket, and I think they're almost sold out of that for both nights, which is actually going to be really amazing. The group that's holding that, Appalachian Seance Society, which is an amazing group. Yes. And then, sorry, dog. Potato. And then they can also buy a ticket for the ghost hunt that's later that evening, that is done with Outlaw Paranormal and SRS Paranormal, and again, two good groups as well.
Oh yeah,
and really good. They're going to be doing one that's inside and then one that's out in the bamboo as well. And then they'll switch during the night and trade off. But they'll also have some vendors set up inside. We will be there. There's going to be readings done inside as well. Some of the members are going to be in there. They've got some really good craft makers in there selling their products and all. It's really like its own little
fair
conference fair type thing. They've got some really good stuff set up inside as well. So,
yep. Oh, we were in over our head. I don't really think we decided we were in over our head. What was the biggest takeaway from the experience? I don't know that we've ever been in over our head. That's not to say it won't happen.
Yeah.
We're not impervious to it. That might happen sometime. But
yeah, Black and Boutique and Customs will be there. They're good. They are really
they're great.
Cool stuff.
Really cool stuff.
That's where I got your
my
tarot card.
Your
tarot
card. Yeah, holder.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh, when we were in over our head.
No, honestly, I don't think we've ever been in over our head. I think we've been up against some dark stuff on several occasions. I do think dark things, and not necessarily demonic, but just dark things that have never been human. And honestly, I think we all really ground each other. So if somebody's really amped up over something, somebody else will kind of bring them back down and ground them a little bit. And we're really known to take breaks. So if something's hairy or uncomfortable, we're not above saying, I need to go step outside.
Right.
Or if we can tell the other one's getting worked up, we'll say, you need to go outside.
Right. Yeah. Because we are this family unit, we're very comfortable telling each other things like that.
Because more than once I had to step outside at Brushy because I was feeling feelings that weren't mine.
Yeah. Right. And so, and when you pick up, and so it's really important when you're with team members to where if you pick up on a team member who is acting different or acting out of the norm, or if you can tell their mannerisms are just not what they usually are, that's when you just take them and say, you need to come outside and let's go outside real quick. Even if, you just want to go out with them as well to make sure they're okay, and just catch some fresh air for a second. That's really important to do.
Well, we had to do that where Old South with another member, we had to have him go down a floor because he was getting a little, you could tell he wasn't himself.
Yeah.
Is a good way to put it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've seen that too at several events too with public events.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, with our old company.
Yeah.
At Missouri State Penitentiary last summer, we had a lady that was communicating with a lady on necrophonic in the cell, and we stopped to take a break, getting ready to switch to the next group. And I got looking at her, and I was grabbing some equipment. I was like, "You okay? You don't look right." She said she wasn't feeling right.
Mm-hmm. That place is messed up. Missouri State.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've not been there. I'd like to go there.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll love that place.
Oh yeah. I was in, is it McClung Hall or housing unit? The greenish looking one, the biggest one.
That'd be housing 3.
I was in there alone, and we had a group coming up, and I mean we had like 100 people there that night. 150. So we were dividing up into groups, and I just was walking through before any of the people got there, and I didn't realize at that time, because it was one of the first times I had been there, I didn't realize at the time that that's where the segregation had happened, and this is where the white men were, and the black men were in housing unit 4, and I didn't know that. And I was like, hey, I'm Erin. I'm bringing in these people, and be nice, communicate with us, but don't hurt anybody, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing, just one of those introductions, just getting ready for the night. And so I walked down the stairs, And I just fist pumped, but I didn't realize the position of my fist. And I was just trying to be like, woo, let's have a good night. And so I started walking down the stairs but I did it like this instead of like this. And I guess that's a thing to where that's a bad thing to do in that area because I got a swift. And I almost went straight down the stairs. I didn't. I caught myself, but there was a kick right in the back. A shoe just right in between my shoulder blades, man. That place is wild. Wild.
Oh yeah, we've done it twice, and we're getting ready. We're going to be there in June with Get Haunted.
Oh, okay. It's crazy. That place is intense.
Oh yeah, I've walked out of there with bruises on me. It looked like someone was taking a cigarette, pushed it on the inside of my arm.
I got that last weekend at Brushy.
My
That
dad,
was weird.
my dad got grabbed right here.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was in the museum
Really?
because they have all the prison artifacts up there in the museum and all the shanks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To that fake mannequin guard, and he shook hands and grabbed him here.
Those fake mannequins. Why do they insist on putting fake mannequins in places? Oh, because I always forget that they're there. And then you walk around the corner and you're just startled. It's no fun. That's no fun.
Because I got a picture of Robert Burdella, the Kansas City butcher, in the museum.
Really?
Yep.
Like his spirit?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
That's cool. That's so cool.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
He died there, and he had a heart attack because they weren't giving him his heart medication.
Oh,
Kansas City butcher, so they weren't giving him his medication. So
yeah.
he died of heart failure in Missouri State.
Oh my gosh.
But he was
That would
part of that riot that they had there. He had all kinds of shanks and stuff in his cell, and
That's crazy. He was armed and ready.
oh yeah, he was. He was ready to cause some damage. So he's up in that museum, and we were able to confirm it with the tour guide Jenny that he was there.
That's intense.
That's cool.
I'll show
We
you
should
guys.
try that.
That's what he looked like when he was alive.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. There's no way you've got this picture. There's no way. Do you have it to where you can pull it up?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
Look on the right hand side.
Oh.
There's old Robert Burdella.
What in the
That's
world?
crazy.
That is crazy.
See, now I want to go.
Yeah, right? It's great.
There's the mugshot
It's
again.
great here. I actually had a reaction at the
I
outside
can see
of
it. Yeah.
the gas chamber. There, because that gas
Dang.
chamber, that's intense. Because when you cross that threshold to go inside and you see their cells, and that's where they were for the last 24 hours of their life, regardless of what crime they committed, because half of these guys were convicted of crimes falsely. Because all of their pictures are up on the wall there. And a lot of them were convicted falsely. I can guarantee you that. And it's just to think that they had to stare at the gas chamber for the last 24 hours of their life is such torture. And then just all of the emotions that ran through there. Because when you can sit in the gas chamber, Audrey, you get to sit in there.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
shut down everything. Yeah. And to know that people literally, that was where they took their last breath. Oh, it just takes your breath. And I literally had tears in my eyes, and I did not want to step into there. And Tyler, my friend Tyler, he was like, "It's okay. You need to come in here. It's all right." And I walked in there, and it just felt wrong, always wrong. I don't know. It was an odd reaction. I'd never really reacted like that anywhere before.
We should put that on the list for next summer.
Yeah, we need to do it. It's a great place.
And they just opened up some new locations there at Missouri State. Because when they tore the building 1 down behind 3.
Yeah.
Actually, building 2 they tore down.
Yeah.
They
Right behind 3. Yeah.
ended up shutting 3 down so you couldn't get in there, so they had to open up some more locations. So they opened that cell when you walk in,
Mm-hmm.
right across from the benches, they opened that up. You go upstairs, they open another room up there, which is the old marshal's office,
Cool.
and they found a whole bunch of files up in there.
That's awesome. Yeah, we need to put that on the list for next year.
Yeah. Make
gonna
that
be-
our road trip for the year.
That's gonna be our big road trip for the year. Yeah. That'll
Yeah,
be fun.
that's an awesome place. Like I said, we've done it twice, and we're going back this year again.
That's cool.
We get haunted, and then we got invited by another team, so we'll be doing it twice this year. So
That's awesome. This year's going by so fast.
yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
because today we booked our end of the year spot. So I was like,
Yeah.
wow, we just booked December. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just boop, gone.
she'll love the dungeon. The dungeon's one of the most active places too. That's in Cell House 4.
No, it's wonderful.
We
Is that
got
wrong? It's so amazing.
we got a woman yelling hello when we were starting off down in the dungeon.
Really. I have an EVP. I was down there. It was probably close to 2:00 in the morning, and I was down there, and I said, "Do you feel alone, or do you feel lonely?" Is what I asked, and there's a response, "Yes." And it was sounded so sad and so alone, and it was awful. It was heartbreaking.
Was it a
Really,
male?
it was a male. Yeah,
That would be JB.
yeah.
Bug.
It was yeah, JB. Yep. But it was really sad to get that. You know, I didn't think I was going to get a response. It was just a chance. Just. Yeah. Did you go through the celebrate roster of the museum? Show the 15. Oh, at Brushy, Greg. Yes. That's at Brushy. Yeah. In the museum at Brushy, they have the that book of the people who were there, some of the prisoners that were there, and when they died. It was kind of gruesome, but good
I'll
to
tell
know.
you when you go down to the dungeon, do an essence method down there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I'd like to see if you pick up cell number 21.
Okay, I'll remember that. Yeah, I had an audible, just shut up. Somebody said, just shut up down there. And I was like, damn, all right, sorry. Hushy.
The first time we went with the team out of St. Louis that invited us, and we went to dinner before we went to the prison, and we were all sitting at the table, and my dad says to this one girl, she's never been to Missouri State before, he says, "You're gonna get touched tonight." So, they decided they wanted to come with us. I was like, "Okay," I said, "Are you the type that gets scared easy? If you are, I don't recommend you going with us because
Right. Yeah,
they
we're the wrong people to go with if you, yeah.
they were like, "No, well, we wanna go. We like what you guys do." I was like,
Okay.
"Alright." So we started
Okay.
the dungeon, then we finished in the cell block up top, and she kept watching this shadow darting in and out of the cells on the second floor catwalk. So I was like, "Keep an eye on it." I walk up there, and I start pacing the catwalk like a guard. Get
Wow.
around the back side of them, just above them, and I hear her yell, "God damn it, I got touched. Something grabbed my leg."
That's great.
And my dad had told her that earlier that she was gonna get touched, and I said to her, I was like, "Don't take this offensive." She was a black girl. I said, "You're in a black cell house. These men haven't seen women in years, so to them, you're a good-looking woman to them."
They got
Why they
excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah.
That happens at Brushy a lot in the D block. In D block, if you if you turn around and you put your back to the cell, the pie holes are kind of like tail end high, And if you stand there, oh, you'll get goosed every time. Every time you'll get goose. They get excited in D block.
Then 3D, there's a woman down there that like she'll talk with you.
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
did.
And Death Row is a really good area.
Oh
In
yeah,
there. It's
we had
really, really dark and interesting.
REM pod sitting in death row, and it was right where that inmate got stabbed to death in front of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
That REM pod would not shut up.
Oh no. We had an SLS camera on there, and they figured out that we could see them, and they shut the SLS camera down. It didn't work for like weeks afterwards. Weeks after there, it didn't work. I thought it was broken. I was so sad. It wasn't though. Shut it down for a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to go there. I need to see all this.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
and it's never the same anytime you go. It's always different each time you
Mhm.
go, activity
Yeah.
wise. So you're never getting the same. And most people all hear death row, 3Ds, all the popular. Everybody forgets about these little side rooms.
Or the women's ward. The women's ward itself. That'll
Well, if
blow
you
your mind.
send men up there, men don't get nothing up there. It stays quiet for the whole night when men go up there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Except
Yeah.
for last year with Get Haunted, we were there. There was men up there, and we were communicating with that woman. That lady was in the cell with necrophonic, and we were doing a burst EVP session away from the cell, and we were both getting the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was a woman that was having an affair with one of the guards,
Oh,
and she got pregnant by him, and he threatened her that if she said anything, he would kill her because he would lose his job. And she ended up throwing herself over the rail down on the floor.
Oh my
oh my
God.
gosh.
That's terrible. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and so we were communicating with her, and that's when that one lady wasn't herself afterwards.
Mm-mm-mm.
Now we did a dual Estes up at what was the jail? Blackford County Jail
Blackford,
up
yeah.
in
It's right
Indiana.
down, yeah, from Indiana. It's literally like across the
Across
street, and 2 houses down from the Monroe
the
house.
demon, yeah, and they were in two different rooms. It was her and then another guy that's kind of on our team. I don't know if you want to call him on our team, or he was a friend of ours, and they were in two different rooms, but they were literally talking back and forth to each other. And we were, because we started out asking questions, and then we were like, they're not even listening to us. And then we realized they were talking to each other.
Yeah.
So we just stopped.
He was in the kids' room. And then
You were in the
where the
attic.
children's playroom was,
Mhm.
for the mothers. And then I was in the attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no us hearing each other, period.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's always good when you get two Estes at
Mm-hmm.
different places saying the same thing. We've had that at an event we did last year at an old courthouse. My group, we went over to the library, and then the other group stayed over in the courthouse, and we were doing Estes at the same time, and the tour guides were running back and forth, and they said when we recapped, you guys were saying the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it we did it at your shrine too. We had somebody upstairs, and downstairs we talked to each other
Yes,
through the phone. We had the phone
Mhm.
on, and that's how we
That's
were.
right. Yeah, there's
talking.
at the Year Shrine, there's an unauthorized area where people are not allowed to go in. There's some they're just not allowed to go up there.
It's
Right.
really some artifacts that are really
Right.
special to him.
Right. So whenever he allows us up there, you cannot bring a camera. You cannot bring. You can't film. You can't record anything up there, and that's just out of respect for the shrine and for the owner of the shrine, for Rick. But we tried this experiment. He asked us to do this experiment, and so we agreed to do it. And it's where two of us, Bailey and I, were upstairs, and the rest of the team was downstairs, and we were trying to communicate. So we had a cell phone just to use for a speakerphone. So we called each other, and we put it, on speakerphone, and we were asking questions upstairs and downstairs. It was a beautiful thing. Yes, Greg, we do Double Estes, yes. And it's really cool how it works out. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, it's a flop. But that's what investigating is about. You just have to try different techniques in different places.
Greg's got a show.
I don't normally do Estes. Some other members on the team do. I don't, because I have trouble understanding, and I I get a headache from the sound real fast. So I usually am the question person. I usually ask the questions, but we have some people on the team that can understand it really well. I am not one of them.
You need to buy one of KD's boxes where that static, he cuts a lot of that static out.
Yes.
Oh,
Shortwave.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll use Phasmabox as well for that because it cuts out all that static noise and it's just the words that come through. Yeah, and it doesn't use Wi-Fi. It has, it's really cool. I love the database with the data bank with the words, and it's really cool. It works really well.
Yeah, I'd like to use one of his pieces of equipment, though. I've seen some of his stuff, and I'd like to.
We've used his reverse sweep ink box. That's one of his best. Everything is swept in reverse, so if you're getting a clear sentence through there,
that's cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like KD.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've seen some of it, but I don't know how to go about getting it. I've never.
Just reach out to Supernatural Ink on Facebook here.
Okay.
Good deal.
Or you can send me a message and I'll forward it over to Katie and KD.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that might be some way for me, because normally the sound is too much for me, and I get migraines real easy, and I'm usually like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And he's got his boxes set up so they're Bluetooth also. So if you want a Bluetooth to it,
nice.
You can put SD cards in them.
Okay.
Nice.
That'd be good, because I've tried Jay Prather's and I like his. I do like his equipment. He's got some good stuff.
Good equipment.
Yeah, he's got some really good stuff. I like his equipment too.
KD's the one that created that helmet that you've seen on.
Yeah, the God helmet thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's cool. I've seen that. That's neat.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
KD's the one that created that.
That's really cool.
That's an awesome looking piece of equipment.
Yeah. We should know when Rick says. Yeah, we should know. We should know that, because Rick said we're fearless, because we pretty much are fearless. And he asks us to do certain things, like nothing bad. I mean, it's not like, but experiments, it's really cool when he asks us to do stuff like that.
Yes, Greg, go ahead and send us one, and we'll get on there. Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does a show Wednesday night called When Spirit Connect right here on Supernatural Inc. And they do a live double Estes method.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they do. It's crazy. They get some good results. I named several times on their.
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they pick up some stuff. It's interesting what they pick up when they're doing double Estes.
Yeah.
And it's from different people around the country. So
that's awesome. That
would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Yeah, Rick's bad to say, hey, try this, and then afterwards he'll say, oh yeah, you all just did blah blah blah, and we had no idea we were participating in something that was sneaky.
Right.
So
there was what was it over? It was over the holiday season, and there was a party there. We had a gift party and like just fellowship coming together, and he had this whistle, and I don't know the origin behind this whistle. It looks like it came from another world. It's crazy. And I've got this on video. He was like, here, look at this whistle. And I was like, oh, cool. And I look at it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, can I blow in it? Like, can I blow the whistle? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, okay. And I'm like, I have Rick on camera. His wife walks in, Michelle walks in, and he goes, she put that flute up to her mouth. Like, just put it up to her mouth. And he was like, what did I do? Did I do something I wasn't supposed to do? You know, so you got to ask questions. You got to
Yeah,
be.
it was an Aztec death whistle.
Oh, okay.
And
So
here
it
I am
probably was.
on an Aztec death whistle. Brilliant. Yeah, way to go, Aaron. Like, good job to not ask. You know?
Yeah.
I've got one. I got a buddy who makes them actually, 3D prints them,
Yeah.
and they
What?
sound just like the real thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's crazy. Yeah.
I
When
took
you
it into work one day at the school I worked at, and they were all in their rooms. Some of the teachers at school just got out, and I let that thing go down the hallway.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Said,
Uh,
"Don't touch the coconut." At least
Yeah,
we
we didn't do that. I've never touched
yeah,
the
he's
coconut.
got a cursed coconut you're not supposed to touch. And of course, if we have a friend, Androniki, he went, "This coconut," and immediately touched it.
This one?
I remember Rick talking about that coconut because when he was on, it was right behind him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
That's
haven't
something
touched it
else.
yet. No, I
No.
have no desire to touch that coconut. I will not
No.
touch it.
No, definitely. Nope. I don't want to have to give it offerings. No, I'm good.
Nope.
Yeah,
There's a
I'm
doll
not.
there now. There's two new dolls there right now. One is Marcellus, and she's in a glass case in the coffin stand. And then there's also Sally, who is in the scrying room in the coffin. And these girls, let me tell you, they're Marcellus. I don't know what it is with her, but starting about what 10,
9,
9,
between 9 and 10, just
you start
smells awful.
like really bad.
No idea why. She just starts smelling terrible.
And then what time does it fade around? Like 2, 3, it'll stop.
I don't know. I don't know.
But every night around 9, 10 o'clock,
But
it starts stinking really bad.
during
And
the day,
then,
she's fine. During the day, she smells fine.
oh yeah, and then Sally is a doll who she has her hand up like this. And she has an articulating arm, and
mhm.
he has a whose medal is that?
It's the Pope. It's the Black Pope.
Oh, the Black Pope. Yeah,
Yeah, the Dark Pope.
It's the Dark Pope, and it's this little thing in her hand, and her hand just stands up there, but she'll start moving it up on demand. She doesn't like cameras. Somebody actually got her moving her hands.
Sinister Sisters
Yes,
did.
yes,
They
yes,
they
yes,
recorded it for like took them 4 hours. Camera was on her for like 4 hours or something like that. And
Yeah, it took a
finally
long time.
they gave her an offering. I'm not sure what they gave her. They're going to release the video. They've got
Yeah.
something set up. They're going to release it, but after 4 hours they got her going. And they
Yeah,
got her eyes moving too.
yeah. Her eyes.
So,
Oh, this doll is creepy. Creepy. Like her eyes have like this film over them almost. It looks like a gray film. Oh my
no. The first time I saw her, I just said, no, no, no. And I turned around and walked back out of the room. I was like, I don't even want to be in the room with this doll.
I've touched her, but that's that's
Yeah,
me.
her hand's going to fall off.
I asked Rick, and he said how to do it, how to get respect.
There's a certain way to touch her, but
Yeah,
I
there's
still.
different ways to touch those objects, as long as you don't hold them up to your heart or anything like that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I didn't pick her up.
Nope,
No,
I ain't nope, I have no desire to touch that doll.
it's not gonna happen. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, Sally is gonna walk out of there one day. No doubt.
She's gonna walk out of there like Megan and dancing.
Yeah, she'll start dancing.
She's gonna start dancing out of there like Megan doll. I can feel it.
We picked up some haunted dolls last September out of a client's house. We did a residential a night before Paracon, and we picked up some dolls, and we were part of the haunted object panel at the Paracon, so
Oh,
we let L&M Paranormal and Mike and Sam of Epic VIP,
yeah.
and Sam did double Estes with this doll, and
How'd
this
that
doll
go?
it didn't go too well. The doll he was very angry, made
Yeah.
the whole room go dark,
Oh wow.
yelled for me to take it back,
Oh my gosh.
called
Wow.
another investigator who's had their name changed by their original name,
What?
Wow.
and
Yeah, that took a turn.
the team across from us, we had them out on the table, and they had their equipment on, and that doll was coming across their equipment saying murder, death. He lied.
Dang.
Then they come over to tell us, and the other doll, we had one little one about like this, eyes were gouged out, and it was giving her heart palpitations along with the other three
Ugh.
other dolls that were there.
So where are those dolls now?
Yeah.
One person's got the one
Just
with
asking.
Just a
the
question.
blue
For a
dress.
friend.
They're where?
One of the investigators got the one, but the rest of them are in the Warren's Occult Museum.
Good place for them.
They're
Good
locked
place.
up. We were
Yeah.
able to confirm none of them were human spirits in those dolls.
Yeah, that's awful. Ugh. Ugh. That is spooky.
The one doll would actually, if you take a picture of it, would turn its
Mm-hmm.
head and smile at the camera.
Nope. Nope. That right there, that gets me. Good God, that gets me.
The other doll,
Really?
we got a picture of the person holding it, and it was imitating their facial features.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
intense.
no.
Yeah, I could pass on that
Yeah.
one.
Y'all can keep those
No
dolls
problem.
right where they are.
Well, when we got them out of Paracon, they weren't happy because I had bound them to a case with St. Benedict's medals, blessed salt, and holy water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
but they weren't happy. They probably were pretty mad.
yeah, they were not happy that they were,
I bet not.
and they were loving all the attention they were getting at the Paracon because they were sitting
Oh
on.
yeah, eating that up. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we brought them to Gettysburg, and
How'd that go?
we were showing them, and the one person that was holding it, their eyes turned black.
Woof.
Oh, that's
Dang.
just. Ugh.
So I handed
Yeah.
them off there at Gettysburg to Nesper, and they're in the museum now.
Yeah. That's a good place for him.
Eventually, they're going to be coming out. They're going to take them to their event, so people will be able to see them. But they'll be
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
no.
Annabelle and stuff.
No.
Okay, maybe not over your head, but never mind. Gotta go. You guys are
Thanks for tuning in, Alvin. Sorry we chased you out.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, we do know
yeah.
Ronnie D. He's amazing. He is such a great person. Ronnie D is great. Absolutely. Ronnie D does a really good job. You know, owners, it's so cool with the owners, that actually put money back into the buildings. Ronnie did an exponential amount of work with him and all of his crew that donated their personal time to help revitalize South Pittsburgh.
Old
Hospital.
South Pittsburgh. The difference before and since he has taken over is unreal.
Yeah,
unreal.
It's grand. He actually went through. I mean, had you ever been there before Ronnie owned it, South Pittsburgh Hospital here in Tennessee?
Me?
I haven't, but I think Greg has.
Yeah, so there was, everybody would write on every space of wall that you could find.
They didn't care. They just let you.
They just let you, and they let people come in and do things unsupervised, which, it's hard to regulate, of course, unless you have cameras on everybody all the time. I get that. But because Stacy was a nice woman. She was a very nice person who managed it before. But Ronnie has put in so much work to make this place breathable, healthy, you're not going to get like black lung disease if you go in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some locations that are really sketchy.
Yeah. The previous owner, you would have to wear a face mask to go in certain parts of the building. You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to do that at all. And he put money into it, and he's looking at roofing. And so when people go out and investigate any place that he owns, you're good to know that your money's going to the hospital. It's or that specific location whatever it may be. Because he owns South Pittsburgh Hospital, and he owns Harriman Hospital as well, the old historical Harriman Hospital, which is pretty cool. But I like it when the owners put money back into places to make it.
You can see a difference that they really care about the location.
Yeah, they're breathing life back into it.
The spirit shifted too. Yes,
absolutely, Greg. 1,000%. 1,000% shifted. It's like when he did that, he allowed the quieter spirits to come out and play. It's really cool. The difference between the spirits then versus now is totally different.
Yeah, and I'm sure with every different energy going in there, people doing whatever they want, they just made them angry by destroying their faith.
Well, people brought things in and they did certain things and rituals, and they didn't know how to do them properly, and they introduced things to the hospital that have no need to be there.
Yeah.
They have no business being there. And this is before Ronnie purchased it. So he's gone great lengths to even find newspaper articles with pictures and names of staff members and people who actually made a difference. So he's pumped a lot of positivity back into that building.
And he's cleared up a lot of rumors that people were spreading.
Yes, a lot of rumors. Absolutely. So it's always a pleasure going to one of his places, because he's not going to have him or any of his people that help him are not going to blow smoke up your tail end with fakeness. They're going to be honest and truthful with what happened in the building. And that's nice. That's refreshing. That just kind of goes back to the beginning of this interview, this podcast, when we were talking about people faking evidence just to get ahead. That's just wrong. Just don't do that.
Yeah,
if you don't get anything, that's okay. If you don't get any evidence, that's okay. That doesn't mean it was a failure. It just means you didn't.
Or that the place isn't haunted. It just wasn't your night or their night.
That's right.
Go back again. The next time you go, it may be unreal.
Totally different. Yeah.
Exactly. They did that at the Hans Mill massacre site here where I live in Missouri. They would go out there and do rituals and Ouija boards out there. And I mean, that's a place people died. They lost their lives. They were murdered.
Yeah. It's one thing to do it in places that is acceptable, like at the Euro Shrine. It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay to do it there. That's a safe place to do things like that. You're not gonna do any harm. But in other locations, like you're talking about, where actual murders happened, and you just don't start layering darkness on top of darkness unnecessarily.
Do you see Greg's comment that he's the one that caught the nurse on the 3rd floor?
Oh, really? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I've got a picture of I don't know if anybody's seen it. I've got a picture of the little boy. Actually, I think I've got it right here, but it probably won't come through. With the little boy in the freezer there. It's like there's no face. This is 3 pictures. And there's no face. There's his face, and there's no face.
Yeah, I can see the face in the middle.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces of evidence from South Pittsburgh Hospital. I just keep it right here. I just keep it. This picture is just right here on my desk all the time.
Yeah, if you ever get out to Missouri, check out the McAteer Villa. That's another good.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Stephanie's got a lot of activity. She's constantly posting video from her security cameras in that place.
I think I follow them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do too. I'll have to look at that.
If you go on YouTube and go on Supernatural Link Technologies, Katie, the owner of Supernatural Link, she does a lot of lives out there with Stephanie, though. She's
nice.
Friends with Stephanie. She'll go out there and investigate with her.
That's cool.
Katie's gotten her butt grabbed out there.
Spirits feel really free to do that. That must be like something they have. It must be some kind of thing that they do. I don't know, because they do that a lot.
They must contact each other and go, "Hey, guess what I did?"
Yeah, that's today.
Well, that's like the haunted object panel we were on. After they did the Estes with the doll, there was a haunted mirror there, and they did a double Estes with that. So Mike asked me to count them out of Estes because we only do 15-minute sessions, and then you do a countdown, and that puts pressure on the spirits to get more out of them because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be done. And so I walk up there, and it comes across. Sam comes out. It must come across the spirit box. Hey, handsome. So I
You're like,
started
hey, how you doing?
down, and the spirit
It's
goes,
so funny.
"I like country boys."
Oh,
Oh,
I was like,
that's
"Wow,
awesome.
30 ghosts."
Oh, isn't that funny? Hey, they got a good sense of humor. Hey, Nancy. Yeah, they have a good sense of humor. You know, spirits can be pretty funny. They can be pretty funny.
Greg
Yeah.
also said he caught her cat too.
the
Oh, that's
nurse's
cool.
cat.
Yep.
That's cool. You know, at the shrine, we have this, there's this phantom
Ghost
cat. There's
cat.
no cat. He has 2 dogs. They have 2 dogs. They have Colby and China. There is no cat there at all. And
But you'll hear it meow, and then you can feel it run past your legs.
yeah, it's insane. It's
It's
crazy.
weird.
I wonder
It's
if
really
maybe
weird.
it was the cat that was there before the shrine.
Quite possibly. It could have been, but the downstairs was originally used for a studio. So I don't know. I don't know.
It could have been because his family had that property for so long. It could have been a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah. The
Maybe
cat's-
Aunt Betty had a cat. I don't know. We'll have to
Yeah.
ask. But like Dee
Yeah, 2
said,
separate
two
teams
separate
of them.
teams have caught the cat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Need to
Yep.
see if we can catch it on the SLS.
Yeah, we never really point the SLS down. We always kind of
yeah. You can't
here.
set it on the dragon table though because it automatically drains it because the
Yeah.
table's made out of magnetite
Magnetite.
and
Yeah.
it'll drain it so you can't so you kind of it's
You're
hard to
kind of
use the
stuck.
SLS in there because there's so many objects in there. It picks up everything.
Everything. It'll pick up a chair. It could map up a chair by
Matches
accident.
and
or-
all the dolls and everything
Yeah.
else.
You need
But
one
we
like
have used it.
mine
Like
doesn't.
what?
Mine doesn't do that. It doesn't map out tables, chairs.
Oh, nice.
It does night vision, 2D and 3D images.
Mine does
nice.
that all of that, but it still picks up a lot of
Yeah, mine don't. Mine's been heavily modified.
fancy.
Nice.
The
Very
only,
nice.
I
only
don't have friends in the high tech world.
thing I don't like about it is when you're carrying it, it tires your wrist out.
Yeah.
It what?
It tires your wrist out when you're carrying it. It
You
does.
need a table. He doesn't have a snack table to carry it like we do.
Right. That's right. We made little snack tables to put it
Leg,
on.
so I'll just put it on the floor and let it point down a hallway.
Yeah.
We had a friend make us a vest that's got like we can put a table in. It's like a little board, and we just rest it on the table.
Yeah. You just sit right there on the table. You just walk around and you're just, this is sitting right there.
It's so jerry rigged. It's not even funny, but it works.
But it works.
we went Ghost Adventure style on this one.
Yeah, we did. We did. Yep. Vest and all. Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
what we did. We freezed it, and she called, goes, "Is that what you need?" I said, "That's what I need." And she made it.
That's perfect. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, mine's just got that little tripod, and then it's got the battery pack, and everything screws onto it. But
Mm-hmm.
it does get too heavy for you once in a while carrying it around.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It does get heavy if you don't have something to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing a residential in Kansas, and I caught our client's dead cat on it going through the food bowl.
Oh God.
That's awesome. Fluffy's here.
You
Yeah.
got to see it too, and you could see it. It was down on all fours and looked just like a body of
That's awesome. That's cool. That's really cool. That's awesome. That's really cool how animals stick around.
Yep.
I think that's really special. It just goes to show how much they truly love the people that took care of them, you know.
Yep, mine stick around too. They're here.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'll catch my cat. He'll be staring down the hallway once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
My house is also haunted. It's got 3 confirmed deaths in it.
Oh, geez. Okay. That's how long ago were those deaths? I mean,
Uh, the recent one was 2018. Was my mom passed away at my house,
yeah.
and then we had 75 was a tornado. There was a house on this property, and he was in the shower, didn't hear the siren go off, and they found him down the road in a rock quarry,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's
still in the
awful.
shower.
That's awful. Poor
And then
guy.
the owners that I bought the house from, her husband passed away in here of cancer.
Yeah.
Plus, this whole town is all military town. It's named after
Oh, yeah. I'd say that makes a huge
Breckinridge,
difference.
named after
Yeah.
General John C. Breckinridge from Kentucky.
Wow. My house isn't haunted, but it has spirits that like to come visit sometimes. I don't think that they really don't have anything to do with the house, but they just like to pop in from time to time. I say hi, bye. Leave me alone. Not in my private space, please. Not where I live. I'll come visit you somewhere else. Not where I live. Thank you, though.
Well, one night we had one that was wreaking havoc in here, and it woke me up about 3 o'clock in the morning. Took one of my dog's toys and threw it at my bedroom door.
Ew, no, thank you.
I
No,
thought my
thank you.
dad was playing a joke on me, but he was sound asleep. And
Mm-mm.
he heard me up, and I found the toy, and the box was up against the wall in the living room. Now I had to throw it clear down the hallway to get to my room.
Wow,
Wow.
that's intense. That's crazy.
My dad says, "I told you there's something going on in here," and all I get said was, "Wherever you came from, you better go back there because if you don't, I know how to get rid of things like you, and you'll be gone."
Yeah,
Never heard a peep out of it after
good, good. Yeah, to something to throw a dog toy that hard all the way down the hallway, that's impressive.
that.
That's
Yep.
impressive.
That's a lot of energy. Yeah.
I've only had one scary thing happen here, and I had an attachment from South Pittsburgh Hospital. Well, it's not from South Pittsburgh Hospital. That was one of its stopping points, right? So it goes a lot of different places. So it's not specific to South Pittsburgh. I need to make sure that's clear. But and it took a picture of me while I was sleeping on my cell phone. That was weird because I went back and I was looking at pictures that I had taken and I was like, wait a second. That's me sleeping. I didn't take that picture. My husband was sleeping right next to me. I didn't take that picture. It's crazy. It's weird.
Yeah.
That's when you're just like, go away. Not here. You can't stay. You can't stay here. You're not welcome in my house.
I've set up cameras one night in my house just to see what was going on in it.
Ooh, did you catch anything?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I set up my full spectrum camera, and it was sitting in my living room, and where my mom's urn is, there's a light anomaly that comes out of it, comes towards the camera, goes out, shoots out to the kitchen about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you see it right back.
Oh.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh.
And she would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and make her coffee. She was an early bird.
So it was your mom.
Yep.
That's wow.
That's cool.
I talked to her through the spirit box before too.
Have you really? That's so cool.
How does that make you feel?
It actually felt pretty good to actually talk to her. It was right at the day she died. That night I talked to her.
Oh wow. That
And
was probably very emotional.
oh yeah, I tested her to make sure it was her, that I wasn't talking to somebody else disguising.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she would know, and she knew it.
That's so
You could
neat.
tell her voice
Wow.
too. My dad got to hear it too.
Oh, that's so special.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't that just make you want to cry? That's really
And
special.
Then she was with me at a location at a case. We went check on a client, and the client has abilities, and the client called me, and she's like, "Hey, who is that woman standing next to you? She was tall, light brown hair, blue eyes."
Oh,
Described my
oh,
mom.
my mom.
Oh, do you feel like she's kind of guarding or watching over
Yeah,
you?
she's my guardian and protector
Yeah,
doing this stuff.
she's always mom. That's the truth.
Mom.
Always mom.
My old member that was a medium would come to my house. My mom would follow her around the house.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's the kind of haunting that's not a haunting. That's something that's,
Yep.
that I don't consider that a haunting. I think that's
More
like a,
mystical, kind of a
yeah, it's
mystical
just so,
thing.
yeah,
Because
But
you
I
think
asked,
haunting and you think scary, but that's
yeah,
not.
yeah,
I asked her if she was trapped. She says, "No, I'm not. I'm not trapped."
good. So she's
Yep.
just there to watch over you.
She comes and goes.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
She messed with my dad one night. I was on an investigation. He didn't go because it was cold. We were doing a old 1800s house that had no heat in it,
Oh
Oh,
wow, jeez,
and
cool.
he said all the pans in the kitchen were rattling. She was messing with them. We used to aggravate each other, pick on
Are
each
you
other.
serious?
So she was messing with him.
She was pretty hard. That's
He was
awesome.
he was gonna call me and have me come home because it was going crazy, and I said, "It's just her aggravating you. You used to aggravate
hmm
her, so she's getting even with you again."
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. She's like, "Oh, I'm not done yet, honey."
Just a reminder, I'm still here.
That's right.
But we got an old school up here too that's haunted. Built
An old what? School?
school. It was built in 1909.
Ooh.
That is old.
Oh yeah,
That sounds
I
good.
used to work there for almost 5 years. Got a lot of personal experiences out of there being in that building by
I'd
myself.
say. Yeah.
I've heard it mock voices. I've got a video of my DVR camera. Now, the south end of the building was built in 1990, and the bathroom door, the women's bathroom staff door, we pulled it shut, latched it. On video, you see fingers reaching, like
I
pulling the door open from the inside.
Oh, wow.
feel a road trip coming on.
You do? I do too. Oh, yes. Yes.
One day, I was up there. We had closed school because of COVID, and so they had me in there disinfecting, and I was up on the second floor, and I could have sworn I heard her cooks for the kitchen downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's supposed to be in the school but me. The school was closed. Nobody was allowed in the building. I go down there. Kitchen's locked up tight. Go and watch the cameras. Nobody pulled in the parking lot. Nobody come in the doors.
Really?
Another
That's
day I was up there. We had closed because of sickness, and I hear sounds like our kindergarten teacher in the main hallway. I go downstairs to run her out of there.
nobody there. Nobody. Well, nobody there. Right? Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Nobody there. That's
I
right.
will not stay in this building past dark.
I
They're
love those.
all out of there before dark.
Aren't those the fun ones to go to?
Yep.
That's the
Our
fun stuff.
the one secretary, if I was leaving for lunch, she would call me if she was in that building by herself during the summer. She will not stay in that building by herself.
Bless her heart. I mean,
She
I
was in
understand.
the office one day, and the door handle was sitting there going like this, and nobody, the only one there.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was in
That's
the
gold.
bathroom,
That's
the
gold.
woman's bathroom on the south end, and she could have sworn she heard the custodian one summer. She thought he was playing a joke on her. He was up in the office on the other side of the building.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not everybody gets excited about this stuff like we do. We're like,
I know.
oh,
You're like, oh my God, I don't ever want to go back in there again. I'm done. And we're like, here we go. Sounds like fun.
Another school I worked at, they were seeing a little girl at night, and I was the night custodian there, so I was in the building by myself till 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that little girl showed herself one night. I was walking down the hallway, and I would turn the lights off. It didn't bother me. And felt like I was being watched. Turned around. Here's a little girl from her head to her shoulders, standing right behind me.
What? I mean, your feet had to come up off the ground just a little, yeah? I mean,
Not
you
really.
had to be like,
She made me jump because I didn't expect it. It was just like turn around quick. There she was.
yeah. And then furthermore, once a little girl, suddenly you're like, you're not alive because there's no children in here.
But that little girl, she would play games with me at night. I'd be in the gym, cleaning the gym. She'd go over on the other set of bleachers and she'd knock on them. And
Aw.
I'd knock back to her on the other set. And then she'd come over to this set that I was at and she'd knock on there. So I'd go over to the other set and knock on that.
That was pretty smart. That was pretty smart. She had a
And
good time, didn't she?
we would do this several times a night.
That's great. She's still playing.
My dad came in there one night and the superintendent, she knew what I did.
Yeah.
And the first night I was there in that first week, I had gone to dinner, come back, classroom door was open that I had shut, bathroom light was on. Those are motion activated. Nobody in the school but me. So I didn't think anything of it. I thought maybe somebody did come in and then just left.
Yeah.
So I went back to work and I hear kids running up and down the hallway. So I go running.
Well, that's one of my fears. That's like one of my largest fears is that you know what I mean? That sound like coming up
You
behind
can
you.
hear 'em.
Oh
You
my
can hear 'em
God.
screaming and laughing. So I go running down the hallway to catch them to throw them out because they didn't belong in there.
Yeah.
Looked all over school. There was no.
No one there.
So I go to
Yeah.
the superintendent. I was like, "Hey, are you aware of what's going on in here?" I said, "Voices of children, and there's no kids in the school. I'm the only one here. Lights are turning on." She says, "I'm aware of the phantom basketball bouncing in the gym."
I'm sorry, what? He was like, wait, you didn't tell me about that part. Wait a
no,
second.
not that, not
Wait
that.
a second.
He says to
No, I
me,
want
she
to talk
goes,
about that.
"Oh no, I'm losing a custodian." I was like, "No, this don't bother me." I said, "I chase it.
Yeah.
This is what I do. I look for it."
Yep.
I was like, "Do you mind if I bring some cameras in and set them up?" "No, I don't mind as long as you're working." So I brought in game cameras, and I would set
Well,
them up in the hallways, and by the time I got done with everything, I'd be working in the maintenance closet cleaning that up and let the cameras do the work. Well, my dad come in one night, time for me to go, and I go to pick the one camera up, I see his hat go flying off his head. And
Oh,
I thought
wow.
he was playing a joke on me. I said, "Oh, you did that." He's like, "No, I didn't do that." So we get walking down the hallway, go to pick the other camera up, and I'm staring straight at him. He's silhouetted with the exit light, so I could see his hands. His hands are down by his side. There goes his hat again.
Oh, someone's messing with him hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
Little trickster.
My mom had an experience in there. She went to use the restroom, and she come out of the restroom, and she seen a black shadow. This is during the day, broad daylight, standing at the end of the hallway looking at her. And she never went back in that place again. If
Oh
she came in
no.
and I say, "I'm shutting the lights off," "Nope, I'm getting out. Let me get out first."
You know, I understand that. I do. I mean, I can understand that. Some people, they just don't play. They just don't like it. They don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, Nancy.
yep.
But yeah, that little girl would just play around, and one night she knocked a chair over off a table.
That's
Just
amazing.
my attention, and I was changing a trash bag in a trash can, and she was pulling on my dust mop, trying to yank it out of my hand.
Like, pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Quit
If
working and play
you
with
want
me.
to yank on the
Yep.
dust mop, they can go clean rooms, and I'll just lay back and let you clean them.
That's right. That's right.
But I was able to capture her on camera standing at the end of the hallway. She only stands about 4 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She must have known that you were a safe person.
Yep.
The bear ball.
I like that. I've never heard it put that way. You are 1000% right. Yes.
We've got two new phrases today.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've had several funerals at that school. And,
Really?
oh yeah, several of the schools here in Missouri do funerals.
Really?
Interesting.
And
That
the
is
gym-
interesting.
the school I'm working at now, the old gym, staff don't like to go in there after dark.
Yeah.
They get that eerie feeling, and if it comes 9 o'clock, they won't shut the lights off in there. They refuse
Really?
to go in there.
I grew up in a funeral home every other weekend. I did when I was a little girl. It was really weird. It was very interesting. The best first time I ever saw a dead body was when I was a little girl, and I ran down to the basement to get my grandmother's laundry, and the guys had somebody laid out on a gurney in a clear plastic bag, and I was like, "This door won't open." I was like 8, something like that. I was little. So I'm pushing this door, and I finally push the door open, and there's this gurney with this dead body. Oh, God. I thought I was going to die. I started screaming, ran up the stairs, and I guess, I don't know, that was terrifying. I'd never seen a dead body. I've seen them, like, dressed, you know, it was not naked in a clear bag. Big difference for a kid. You know what I'm saying? When they're dressed in a suit and tie and a coffin, that's okay. But we used to, when we were kids, my siblings and I, this is just a side note, this is really funny. There was sugar packets for coffee, right? So I'd be ripping up all the sugar packets, dumping them in my mouth, and they had this organ, and so I would sit there and pound on the organ. Oh God, it was fun. That was interesting upbringing. Just side note. I don't know why that popped into my mind. It just did. Hanging out with dead people, even as a little girl. What do you do? No. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say most people haven't seen that, Nancy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's not the norm. That's okay. I'm definitely weird.
Well, even with this school up here, I was up waxing hallways one night. It's about 9 o'clock at night, and I'm up on the second floor, and I see a black figure past the gate at the bottom down in the main hallway.
Oh.
So I thought somebody was in there, so I ran down the stairs, and we just had the gym floor redone, so it was still wet, and the gym door opened up. So I looked in there to see because they would have left foot tracks if they ran across the gym floor.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing, so I was like, all right, whatever. So I just started waxing some more, and I hear a knock on the trophy case right next to me.
Oh.
I was like, I said to it, all right, you got my attention, now knock it off.
Yeah.
Let me work.
Yeah.
I
I gotta
got
get
things
this
to
done.
do.
I'm on a time crunch here.
Yeah.
It needs to be done tonight.
Yeah.
Another morning, I caught a picture of a black shadow figure standing on the second floor landing. Power was out in the school, and
Wow.
track kids just left, so I was the only one there. And sure enough, there was that black figure standing on the landing looking at me.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
My old
that-
boss's wife's seen it too a couple times. When
That's
she was
cool.
staying in the gym, my cousins had, when he worked up there, they just got done with the basketball game. They shut the lights off in the gym. They're staring at the gym, and they hear a whole nother basketball game going on. You can hear cheerleaders, whistles, people cheering.
What?
Are you serious?
Yep.
Kind of like a
Like
residual.
residual.
Like
Yeah.
a leftover
Yeah.
residual energy.
Yeah, like residual. That's cool. That would have been really neat to experience.
That would have been neat. Yeah, that would have
Yeah,
been
that would
cool.
have been real special.
I've been in there when you hear basketballs bouncing, or you hear somebody walking across the floor.
Yeah, I'm a property manager by day, and I had this house that was a 100-year-old century farmhouse, and I had these tenants that moved in, and it's way out in the country, and it's like the driveway to this thing is like a mile long almost. It's crazy, and it's burnt down now. It doesn't exist anymore, but the house was amazing. Anyhow, they moved out. They were terrified because they said people keep coming up on our front porch in the middle of the night and they keep taking stuff off of our front porch. Nobody was going up there. Nobody was up there. It was just, I don't know. I mean, it was a spirit. And then there was a little girl who used to be a slave, and she worked for the owner of the house, and the other tenants that were there could hear a ball bouncing upstairs all the time. They could hear, and there was no electricity upstairs. This house was really, I mean, no electricity. There was no heat, no air, nothing in this house, and we had a house cleaner that would come clean it every once in a while when it was vacant, and she'd just make sure everything was clean for showings. And there was a little girl, when she was vacuuming, she heard this little girl say, "Wow, what is that?" She was amazed with a vacuum. She'd never seen a vacuum. It was pretty special. That was really neat.
I'll show you guys something. This was actually captured in somebody's house.
What is that?
Take a guess.
Wait, where was this taken at?
This was taken at a house in Lawson, Missouri.
I mean, am I looking at a Head and Shoulders and like a,
Yep.
what in the hell?
Looks like it's got two horns on top of its head.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does.
That was a demonic entity in that person's house.
That's crazy.
What kind of camera did you use?
It's an actual ITC TV box app. It scans the white noise.
Mm-hmm.
And has like a TV screen, and when
Mm-hmm.
it picks up an EMF, it snaps a picture.
That's creepy, but beautiful. Does that make sense? That's creepy.
What do they call it? Hauntingly beautiful?
Yeah, hauntingly beautiful. Yes. Yes.
This was captured out of the same place.
What the hell? That's a whole face.
You can see the eyes, the
The
nose.
nose, the mouth, you can see it all.
Native
Same
American.
kind of camera?
Yep, Native American woman.
Wow.
And this property has confirmed Native American slaves.
She looks very stoic and sad.
Yeah,
She looks older.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
this
unreal.
This place stretches all the way back to Jesse James and
Goodness. That's a really cool picture, Russ. That's a really cool picture.
check that one out.
Oh my God. Is this
Okay,
all in the same place?
Yeah, this is all the same place.
I need this camera.
I know. I know.
I need this device.
Where can you get this device at, Russ?
I'll send you the link.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
you've caught our
Thank you.
attention.
Yeah. That's
I was
yeah.
well,
This looks like two faces together.
I was skeptical with it at first
Wow.
until I caught Robert Verdella and was able to confirm it. That's
Jeez.
It was a bunch of hogwash at first until it started showing me some legit evidence. And
Wow. Yeah, I need one of those. I need
That's
one of those.
insane.
Yeah.
Those are
Thanks for showing us those. Those are great.
Those are wow.
Yeah. I like those.
there's another one out of the same place.
That looks like him.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. I like that camera.
We're getting ready to go back there, actually.
Where is this at? Though that house case?
This is in Lawson, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
They're actually family of mine.
That's neat.
We originally got called there because his wife passed away in the home, and there was stuff going on, and it was affecting his new wife. And got talking to him, got finding out her last name was Reynolds, and then they started tracing family, talking about different family, and I did genealogy, and I found out I am related to them.
Wow.
So he calls his sister-in-law and says, "Guess who I got standing in my house right now? Two of your cousins." And now his new wife, I'm I guess I'm related to her somehow too now. Also,
Oh, God.
Surprise. That's cool.
so we're
Oh,
like we're like family out there. So we're getting ready to do a 2-night investigation out there.
nice. Very
Uh,
nice.
KD and Katie are coming out with us too for that because KD does psychic art.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
So I'm curious to see what he draws up out there.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
But
I would like for him to come to the shrine to see what he got there. If he does psychic art, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
we were at a Paracon last year with him, and KD was just sitting there drawing. And after he got done, they had to go find what he drew.
Mm-hmm.
It was upstairs. There was a chair up there, like a king's chair with some pillars, and that's what KD had drawn. And KD had never been up there.
Oh, neat.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I'd like to get
Like
him out there then to see what he do, see what he'd get. That'd be
Mhm.
neat to see what he would get. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Relative showing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That place in Lawson, that's highly active. They got spirits coming in and out of that house like crazy. My dad was actually sitting in the house there and seen 2 kids running the upstairs balcony.
Mm-hmm.
She's always telling me that her pictures, she'll straighten them up and they'll all be crooked again.
Oh,
Okay, that would make me mad. I'd be like, listen, if you're gonna be in my house, grab a broom.
Yep, and
Don't make the pictures crooked. Dust something for me, please.
they took her husband's lunch pail and threw it off the counter with his lunch in it.
oh
Jeez,
gosh.
persnickety little things.
And they have an old house that sits up on top of the hill, the old farmhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and that's extremely haunted. The grandparents lived there, and they just up and left one day, left all their belongings, tell nobody, just up and
Oh,
left.
that's bad. That's bad.
That's
The,
bad. Yeah, that's when it's bad.
the
Yeah.
one kid reported that he seen a woman in white up
They're
there.
always in white. They're always in white.
I know it's weird, like St.
You
Louis.
never hear of the lady in green.
You're right.
And so when we did our first investigation up there, we set up cameras because you can't get in the farmhouse because it's falling down. So we set up cameras all around the outside, set some recorders in the windows, and got done. And I was standing there and I was looking up at the top floor. I sensed something up there, and the owner comes over to me. He says, "You see something up there?" I said, "Yeah, there's a woman in white standing in the window looking at us." I said, "Take a picture." Takes a picture. She shows up in her picture.
What? That's badass. That's so cool. How
Blew
about
blew his mind. Now he sits there and he plays with his phone left and right trying to.
I'd say he does. I would say he does.
They send me
Yes.
pictures like crazy all the time.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to get out of here. My thing is dying. My iPod's
Okay.
dying. So thank you. I've enjoyed this.
Oh,
Send
you're
me
welcome.
the link to that
Yep.
stuff so I can
Well,
get this. And I will talk to you guys later.
sounds good.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye. Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Anytime
It
you
has,
want to do part two.
yeah, it has been fun. It's been great.
We got a few more minutes left. So if
All
people
right.
want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you guys?
They can get a hold of us the main through WhatsApp. They can, and that is on our Facebook page, or they our phone numbers on there, or just messaging us through Facebook. That's another easy way to do it. So if anybody wants to get a hold of us to investigate the shrine, please reach out to us. Someone's always on tap to answer any questions. You can message us about it, anything. It's $280 for the night, and it starts at 7 p.m. and it ends at 3 a.m. If you're in the middle of something, say an Estes method or whatever you may be doing, and you're getting good interaction and you need to go a little bit over 3 o'clock in the morning, that's allowable. That's not a problem. We do stay on site to make sure that everybody has everything that they need, or if there's any trouble or any questions, we're there to answer, but we stay completely out of the way. So we usually are around the fire pit and we're quiet and we just leave everybody alone, and you guys can, wander in within the shrine. You can go out to the Tengu forest. You can go to the cemetery across the street, as long as you're very respectful there. And at the shrine, of course. But I would suggest that everybody give it a shot, because it's a place that in itself, you're never going to experience anything like the shrine ever. It's a one of a kind. And it's a safe place to investigate, because there are good things, bad things, positive things, evil things. There are ground rules that are kept there per Rick. And so it's a safe place to communicate with the dead and those that are beyond the dead. It's a very intense place, but worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get there to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I said, $280. There's $100 deposit to hold it. And then the other $180 can be paid in cash in person. Yep. So it's very affordable. We keep it cheap. We're not looking to make $1 million off of this. We just want as many people in the world to experience the beauty of the shrine and everything that's special about the shrine.
Right. And he was saying that everything's free to roam, so nothing's captive there. So
Yeah. All we ask is that you don't move things around. Everything there is put there specifically for a reason. And so, we ask that unless you ask permission from somebody, a human, like one of us there, to touch it or move it, or, otherwise just don't touch things that
yeah,
are hanging or placed on shelves. Yeah.
you don't want to be touching a lot of that darker stuff, anyways, if you don't
Yeah,
know what you're doing and how to handle it.
exactly. Exactly. Yes.
That'd be like reaching in the case, grabbing the Shadow Doll or Annabelle, and
Same thing. And you're going to be met with extreme paranormal happenings in your life that are not going to be fun. And then you're going to want to return it, or, say, I'm sorry for touching you, moving you. Yeah, absolutely.
I did a session with the Shadow Doll once. Scott.
Alone? Did you do this alone?
No, we had other investigators with us.
Good. Yeah, don't do that alone. That's not a
Even
good
though
idea.
I'm protected, but I still don't do that alone.
No.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap. If you want to hang backstage for a minute,
All right, sounds good. Thank you. I've had a great time.
glad that you came on. Like I said,
Thank
if
you.
you want to do a part two, we'll do a part two.
I'd be happy to. Yes.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Everybody that stuck in for the rest of the night. Hope you guys found the show entertaining and also informational. Make sure you guys check out the Euro Shrine up in Tennessee. That is an awesome place. Reach out to them to book your event today. Um, we will see you next week, same time, same channel. Stay safe, stay humble. God bless everyone, and have the rest of a good night and good weekend. Stay safe and stay haunted.